I am so sorry. I got so caught up in burnout that I forgot to tell you how freaking great it has been to be a nurse. I wrote down some notes the other day about what was it like that first year after I got out of school. There was a lot of changes in our lives. Doesn't matter who you are as a nurse. I had already been working as an LPN in an OB department as a scrub nurse and an instrument tech. So I kind of had a gist of what was going to happen. In that first year, there was so much more. Learning to be on time. I remember my old habit had been I'd show up, maybe 5 or 10 minutes late, but it wouldn't matter because whoever I was taking over for would probably already be done with what they had to do, and there was no report because we were scrub and instrument techs. But when you became an RN, that 5 to 10 minutes meant that you were keeping your coworkers 5 to 10 minutes later, which was considered and is really unfair to them. That was the first time I ever got into trouble, was when my charge nurse came to me and said, "Do you realize that you're 5 to 10 minutes late every day? And that impacts the nurses that have been working all night." So I learned about getting to work on time and rescheduling my mornings differently so that I would be there on time. I mean, think about it. Have to get up at a certain time, and you have to have your coffee, and you have to get your car prepped if you live somewhere where it snows or any of that. There's a lot of little things you have to do. You maybe have to throw a load of laundry in, and then you have to get in the shower, get dressed, get in the car, and drive to work. And it starts to become a pattern, and after 50 years, there's definitely a pattern that I use. You learn that pattern in that first year. You learn how the system works, that as soon as you get to work, you get changed, you get into that report room, and you get report on the patients that are there. Nowadays, I think that people make rounds, but I was doing OB, so we just took 5 minutes and talked about the patients, and we went in and then we introduced ourselves to the patients and we took over the work. Wow. And then we really learned how to chart. And at some point, I'm going to Google all the different charting systems that I learned in the career of 50 years. Back then, we were doing SOAP charting. Subjective, objective, assessment, and plan. So you were learning that and getting it down to a science so that you had 3 SOAP notes concerning their nutrition, their body care, different things. I can't even remember anymore. But it was totally different than what we do now. We learned how to get along with multiple personalities. You didn't get to pick your team. You were definitely the low man on the totem pole. So you started to create your pattern as a nurse and who you were, and you took the brunt of the assignments, and you learned how to get along. It was interesting. You learn new skills. I mean, every day you were learning something new because you either had some experience in nursing school about it, not a lot, but some, or you were having to get the courage up to go to somebody and say, "I really don't know how to do this. Can you show me?" And back then, the motto for nurses was they eat their young, so it was very scary. We were learning new skills, hundreds of new skills, IV skills, charting skills, just so many things you're learning. You were learning how to manage your life in a new way, your home life and your working life. You were learning that, in fact, there can be disappointments in this career and this occupation. There were a lot of them in the beginning because you have this vision of how it's going to be, and it isn't. But yet, it's rewarding. You learn to get to know the patient. Each patient, I'm sure when you do different kinds of nursing, each patient has its special place. And we have to learn how to handle that in those first couple of years. How to be okay with them yelling at you, especially in OB, or okay with their disappointment. And the last important thing is, you learn that your patient isn't the only patient. You're the nurse for the family. You're the nurse for the baby. So we are just beginning in those first 1 to 3 years of being even smarter than we were in nursing school. There's so much to learn. It's trial and error on a lot of stuff. Not that you try, but that you can do things and fail, learn from it, step up, do it better the next time. It's where you start on this brilliant career as a nurse. If you're thinking about walking away, think again. DM me. I will help you to understand it better. Welcome to nursing.